and welcome back to the DreamHack Astro Open Tours. And well, it's going to be map 3 of the first best of 3 today. I'm very much looking forward to this. This is the big moment, I suppose, the one that we've all been waiting for. Misfits versus Heroic.
And it's going to be on train instead of what we thought was going to be the map in cobblestone. So this is, in my opinion, a big win for Misfits. Heroic are decent on this map, but Misfits, they got to this map against Na'Vi. We know they have good results in their Pro League and NA on this map as well. So this is a big chance for them, in my opinion. Like, they get wrecked on Nuke. Now they come into train. Can they mentally reset themselves? Can they back it up and start getting rounds here in train? Because if they can do that, we're in for a treat. If they don't, if they completely collapse, it's going to be as we all expected. Heroic going to take the win. But then again, like, everything can happen. It's CS.
I mean, yeah, I think Misfits, it's a map that we know they're good on. Yesterday when they played Na'Vi, they looked great. I mean, some of the rounds looked good. There you go. It's probably a better
I wouldn't say great. I would say decent.
Yeah, I would say some of the things they did, I really like the idea behind, and I feel like up against Na'Vi, it was a bit of a tall order, but now coming into this up against Heroic, they've already proven that they can go ahead and beat them once. So who's to say they can't then do it again on a map that they're also very comfortable on? The knife round just went underway. And I think we're going to be seeing Misfits over on the CT side, Heroic on the T side. How do you think that's going to lend itself to these teams?
Well, in general, Heroic on the T side is not a very stable team. They have, like, they get around 40, I think 40 or 39% of their rounds on the T side. So this is not a side where they, like, get a lot of rounds. In comparison to Nuke, where they get almost 60% of their rounds on the CT side. So the T side for Heroic, they're probably aiming for around 6 rounds. If they get 7 or 8, then they're good. If they get more than that, they're golden. They're going to win the game. So Misfits right now, this is their chance to build momentum. This is their chance to get rounds in. And if they get 10, 11, they have a chance in this game. If they don't, it's going to be hard for them.
Right then. Okay, so heading into this, I mean, the big question is, are you still going for Heroic, or are you going to say that Misfits could take it?
The Heroic are going to win this. No worries.
Okay. Well, then
I think it's going to be close. It all comes down to how they play the CT side, because they need to take advantage of the chance right now. They failed to do that on Nuke, on their CT side of Nuke, because they got shut down. They need to do that now on train, and they know it, we know it, the fans know it. Now it's time for Misfits to step it up.
And well, to kickstart this round, we're going to see Misfits going aggressive over towards Ivy, and they are going to be I was going to say punish for it, but actually end up putting it into a 3-on-3. The trades go back and forth, but then Modi quick to try and pounce, claim back some sort of advantage, but Sick answers back, picks up 2 swift, clean headshots in the pistol. And now it's all on Yugi. He's gotten the bomb, and he's been kind of a very pivotal player in the last couple of maps for Heroic, the one that you could look to try and clutch this out. He's coming around over towards MA, but no. Sean Garez finds the headshot. Down he goes, and Misfits, they pick up the pistol, and as you said, a great way for them to start building up that momentum they so desperately need.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it was all in the back of these shots we see right here. Sick, left, right, easy peasy, takes 2 shots down, and that's how it is when you have a really strong player on that USPS on that CT side. He can just wreak havoc. And of course, Sean Garez got that final kill. Sick kind of like had an idea of where their opponent was going, so Sean Garez could just hold one angle, and it's very hard to miss a USP medium range shot when you hold the angle against the terrorist, so he of course gets that. Now it's the force buy coming in for Heroic. Since they didn't get that bomb down, they've got to do pistols. Yugi, of course, not buying armor because he's saving up for the AWP. On the CT side, we have 3 UMP-45s, a FAMAS, so Dividek going against the meta, and of course, Sick on the M4.
Yeah, now Sick's in a good spot to try and rotate on round. The push going to be coming on in. Sean Garez has to buy time for the rotates to come through, but he's already going to be tagged down low. It's Amanek to be able to find one, but that is it. Hiding out on the back of the site, trying to deny the bomb plot, but gets caught off by Snappy, who looks to take a second. Sick goes down as well. So they've picked up the man advantage. Shazam coming in on the flank, does get 2, pulls it back into the round win for Misfits. They go ahead and mop up the remaining Heroic players. Shazam with a nice 3K there to secure them that round. It was looking a little bit choppy. The bomb goes down. That's going to benefit Heroic's economy in a big way when the buy round does come in on round 4.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Into this one, do you think we're going to see them force buy down a bit, or just
No.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a mistake if they do that. I think they're going to go on. Oh, okay. Actually, we do see the AKs. Okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say, right? I feel like they're going to try and imply the pressure early on.
I get the idea, but I don't like it. In general, I'm a very old-fashioned, very safe CS player in my philosophy of playing and liking the game. So stuff like this, I don't personally like. If they can make it work, that's awesome for them. But, okay, well, they're going to catch Sean Garez off guard. What? He's going to get 2 in that position!
Yeah, and that was all the work he had to do and more. They also then find one on the back of Sick, who does instantly get traded out, but now it's a 2-on-3. Snappy's tagged down incredibly low, and this round looks like it could easily go the way of Misfits. You're going to be looking at Valdi and Snappy to have to land some impeccable shots to bring this one back. DreamHack on the bomb train, trying to spot out Valdi on the site. He does have the bomb, so if they pick him up, Shazam going on that long flank as well, just leaves them even more prone to being pincered on in over towards this site. The feet going to be spotted out by DreamHack as he eliminates Valdi. Now it's all on Snappy. 1v3, 13 HP. Just chugging along, trying to find something. Does deal with DreamHack on this site, but it's Shazam on the flank you got to keep an eye on. He's going to be swift to pick the bomb up. Amanek, though. No, I was going to say, if he was able to cross on time and get onto the site, could have got the bomb down. Yeah. Might not have been that bad. Amanek was very far away. But no, Shazam's flank does pay off. Misfits going to be picking up that third round.
Mistakes were made, boys.
Yeah.
And now, of course, Heroic in a situation where they're buying it. Well, Muddy's buying down to 1,400, which is very low, but of course they're going to get a little bit of extra money bonus, but still, 1,400 is very low. He's going to be in the UMP for sure for next round. Rest of the team buying down to around 2K, so that means pistols for them. They're going to try their best. Muddy opening up, but not getting anything done to Sam taking down Yugi, so this is already looking now like a win for Misfits.
Yeah, Nico and Valdi, the only two players that they have grandfathered that scout across, and Valdi's got the deke to try and land some headshots, but he's going to get fully flashed, doesn't see his own death as his clock does tick over, and that'll be Misfits to find a fourth. Now the buy can come on in, albeit a round delayed from what it should have done. But they finally have that shot now to try and open things up. You do see the AK up on Modi, and that was a concern of yours, seeing as he bought down so low.
Well, he's missing utility, and that's the point. You can either choose to go for UMP 45 full utility, or you can go AK and then get, like, miss your 2 flashbangs, or miss a smoke, stuff like that. And I don't hope it... I hope it's not going to be, like, a big concern for them that he's missing 2 flashbangs, and if they're going to do a big, like, execute with the utility, it's going to be hard for them to miss those 2 flashbangs, but let's see here. Right now, they're smoked outside. Slowly creeping their way inside. Muddy and Yugi, Snappy, the 3-pronged attack towards this B-bomb site. But you have to focus on Sick, still on the SMG, Amanek still on the scout. So this should be around the Heroic will win like 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, Misfits have invested next to nothing into this round on top of what they already had. They're trying to grab a round for free, which, considering they basically got handed this 4th round for free, it's very ballsy from them to try and pick this up. 6 in a great spot, though, for the MP9.
The only good spot for the MP9, let's be real.
The nade doesn't find any damage. They don't have anything to flush him out from there. So Pop Dog off the cards for the time being. It looks like B's going to be the site in question. The push now coming on in. The scout raiding in some damage from afar on the back of Amanek, but a lot of this is going to fall on Sean Garris to try and hold back these players. He does get one, but in the blink of an eye, Nico, Valdi, and Yugi find 3 frags between them. The flank coming in from DreamHack. He lands the headshot, but doesn't get the kill, and then Yugi mops up Shazam. Heroic could go ahead and pick up that first round. 4-1, but Misfits still with plenty of money on the board.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Shazam's got nearly $13,000. Okay, they're not worrying about money right now. They're still in a good state of mind, and the double AWP setup's going to come out. Amanek on the AWP, Shazam as well. And Train is definitely one of those maps which on the CT side, it's incredibly viable.
The problem is now, if Misfits lose this, it's only Shazam who can actually be able to buy. He can drop pistols for the others, so that means if they lose this, they're going to be on a pistol force, or just maybe drop pistols from Shazam. So Heroic, after losing the first 4, getting 1, if they get 2 in a row, they could also get 3 in a row as well. So this is turning out good if Heroic can turn this one around. Of course, as we had the round before, as you said, ballsy play, staying on those weapons, I agree with that. But yeah, it's always going to be hard when you're playing against a team better than yourself. You need all the tools you can get to get an advantage. And playing MP9 and Scout is not a tool you need.
Now, once again, for Heroic, it looks like B could very well be the site in question. 4 players here for them. Only Amanek with his AWP over towards Connector. Now, this does mean he can easily fall on back. If he picks up the opening frag, they can go into the retake with a mad advantage, but he actually falls straight away. The pop flash forcing him back, and then Yugi to land the headshot, showing he's just as capable with the rifle as the AWP. Sean Garrett's going to be picking up that AWP, which already, to me, suggests that this could very well be a save round. Heading into this retake, being a man down with 2 AWPs in play, they don't really have the firepower to make their way back in, and yeah, it is just going to be the save coming on through. Shazam with $5,000 left. It does make sense because now he can drop over to Amanek. So, well, most likely Sean Garris, seeing as Amanek's going to be taking that double AWP. So they can now go into this next round with a buy. So I don't think it is the right call to make. There's no need for them to go in.
I definitely agree. This is the perfect call to make.
Right.
In a hard situation, of course, this sucks that they're going to lose a round, but this is where clever teams and stupid teams in my book like separate, because some like lower level teams will go in a situation like, yeah, we're 4v4, we can still do this, we have 2 ops, it's okay. But a clever team will see like, okay, these are terrorists, they are good aimers, they're in post-plant positions, they still have utility, we're trying to retake with 2 ops, this is probably not a round that we have a big chance of winning. And then they'll see, okay, we have a way better chance in the next one, so let's just wait. And that patience is going to be key here for Misfits.
Yeah, now hopefully it does pan out. Let's see, is the double up setup still going to be in play on the CT side? No AWP yet for Heroic. Yugi not opting to pick one up when they did rebuy into this, so instead just going to be sticking with 5 rifles. To me, that suggests they're just going to try B again, right? I mean, if aim broke, don't fix it. They sent everyone here early on. The rifle's going to lend themselves very well to that B bomb site, but this time they don't expect Amanek. Posted on up, aggressive, picking up Modi early on, grabbing that man advantage, and already you can see it's kind of slowed down the aggression over towards B. Looking a little more unsure. Valdi's actually fallen on back, trying to grab control of Pop Dog. Now rejoining the rest of the team, but even if they head on through, there's 2 players here. I haven't even found a equalizer yet. Sean Garrett's going to be playing up close on the site. He actually starts to make his way in with the rifle just so he can buy time for the rotate, exerting the pressure on the site, disallowing that bomb plant. Same with Amanek. They actually dedicate a lot in here. Pop Flash going to come on through, as do the smokes. Amanek fully blind, but he still picks up the frag. Sean Garrett's in through the smoke as well. Bomb's going to go down. There's only 2 players left, though. The rotate in full effect. They do have 2 Molotovs, so actually, yeah, as you say, if they can keep these players at the site, this is going to look good for them here. They do a lot of damage. Didovek does at least pick up Yugi. Now it's all on Nico. 1v3. Only a Molotov to play around with. No flashes to get himself out of this situation. Not going to be able to put the Molotov to too great a use. Takes the peek on a Shazam and pays for it with his life. He goes down. And Misfits, they're going to pick up a 5th round.
Once again, good patience, definitely from Shazam there. He knows that the terrorist is in that angle, so he knows if he holds the right one, his players can push on the left side and they can eventually get him down, unless the terrorist peeks him, and then he'll win that duel. So patience is key right now. Amanek with the double aggressive play, then rotating back, getting that shot through the smoke. That's of course lucky, but he's holding the correct position. He knows when the flash comes, the terrorist is probably also going to come, and he makes the right choice. Good choices and good shots from Misfits. Going to give them another round. 5-2 now.
Yeah, Heroic still with money in the bank and on the back of that bomb plant. Plenty to buy up into this. All the utility they could possibly need. And this time it's Yugi to take the aggression over towards B. Gets the spawn for it, gets there before Sean can do anything, and picks up the early man advantage. Heroic this time instead, they're going to fall on back from the B bomb site. They've decided they've hit B time and time again. And you can see, I mean, it's the right call to make. Misfits, in retrospect of the fact that they've been hitting B so much, have rotated both Amanek and Sick round in the absence of Sean Garris, meaning that there's only Shazam and Davidovek over towards that A bomb site to lock it down.
So here we go, Shazam once again holding angles. And I have no one right now watching. Well, Davidovek is watching from bomb train, so Shazam, if someone goes down Pop Dog and goes out early with a pop flash or a smoke, he's going to be in a tough position, and this is why he repositions themselves. He takes the aggressive angle, then rotates back when he knows, okay, they're not going to come now. I'm going to take a more defensive one, a more secure one, and he takes the frag onto Valde. Good start.
Yeah, he's looking to try and do even more. Gets himself 2. Still got a lot of frags left to find, but will be punished by Snappy. Into a 2-on-3. Suddenly the situation just flipped entirely on its head. Amanek trying to rain death in from afar on the back of his AWP. Bomb's going to be picked up by Yugi as they look to try and break through into the site. Davidovek does spot out that player. On top of the trade now, maneuvering around the bomb train out into the lines of Yugi, though, will go down. It's all on Amanek, 1v3, holding the cross. Yugi goes down. They lose their AWP on the side of Heroic. And the bomb just going to look to hightail it out of there over towards that B bomb site on the back of Modi. Snappy still holding this angle, does run the risk of going down. Amanek going to rotate off, but he hears that AK shot whiz by as the bomb gets planted. Should be aware that it's all the way over towards B. Snappy's allowed to escape as well, and at this point, Amanek, he knows if he can get to that B bomb site fast enough, Modi's here alone. Snappy will be able to get there within a few seconds of Amanek arriving, but he can still take this one-on-one duel. As time ticks away, though, he's just going to make the decision to save.
Yeah, and he also has a good bit of utility on him. He has the head armor, the kit, and everything. So there's a lot of money that he can bring into the next round. And even though it's a 1v2, and if you win that first duel, you always have a chance. Again, retaking with an AWP is always hard. Doesn't have a Molotov to flush out. Doesn't have a smoke for the bomb. So This is a correct choice in my book as well. 5-3 though. Heroic. Usually not very good on the C side. 3 rounds already is a good start for them, in my opinion. Like, if Misfits can't have double amount of the rounds that Heroic have on their book right now, it's going to be a problem for them. So they need to step their game up right now. Shazam still with the op. Davidek and Sean Garris are going to be both on UMP 45s. And Davidek without any utility at all. And of course, if they lose this, Misfits, they're going to be on a pistol round.
Yeah, now this time, Shazam tried going aggressive down through Ivy early on. Well, he just smoked on back as they fire some shots in through there. Doesn't want to risk taking that peak once again. Well, right now, Heroic, they're holding all the angles down. You can see you got Muddy over towards B. Snappy there as well, watching anyone in through Pop. 4 players for Misfits out towards this A bomb site. Only Sean Garris on B, and he's playing it very passively. Amanek now rotating around a little bit preemptively, as all the attention does seem to be directed out towards this A bomb site. 2 players trying to gain control of Ivy. Yugi's there with the AWP trying to open things up. Pop Flash going to come through. And actually, he's going to boost the player up. Shazam's got to watch out because he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Does at least get the refrag as he watches his teammate Dibidovek gets completely butchered. Yugi swapping out to the CZ, falls at the hands of Sick. Into a 3-on-3 we go. Now Nico tasked with trying to open things up out towards A. Molotovs off over towards Ivy. Modi doing the damage with the AK as well. Everyone in this A bomb site hectic as the shots fly left and right. Ultimately, Nico going to be wishing a sweet goodnight, looking for even more. Gets himself a 3rd as he completes the hat trick. Now looking to try and get 4. Sean Garris on the AWP to 1v2. 25 seconds left to play around with. Bomb out in the open. He knows exactly where it is, but he doesn't have the information as to where Modi is. Knows that Nico's on A, but suspects that Modi might be going around on the flank. And instead, he's going to make the decision to fall back over towards CT spawn, repositions entirely. So now they don't know where he is. Bomb's going to look to go down. There's time left, but it is going to go down just in the nick of time as Sean Garris sneaking on through like a Cyclops as he tries to look through his scope. Finds the first one, and Nico still going to deal with Modi. Better watch out because he's in the back line right behind him. Just a couple of shots into the spinal cord, and that's no problem for Heroic to secure that 4th.
Heroic slowly but surely edging their way back into this game. And as I said, when the round started, this would force Misfits into a pistol round. Biggest investment are going to be like CZ 75, stuff like that, coming out from Misfits. And we do see Sick and Sean Garris both opting for that. But we know so far that pistols are very powerful in this game, so we shouldn't count them out just yet. But it looks like Heroic could be bringing themselves on 5-5. And I said, if Heroic get 6 or 7 rounds on this T side, they're good for the rest of the game. And they're getting very close. They're getting dangerously close right now to that amount.
Yeah, now look at this to Misfits. They've gone aggressive over towards B. They've got 3 players on the flank. But Nico's in such a good spot to cancel this out in its entirety. He picks up Amanek, and now it's just Sean Garris and Sick. 2 from NA, and they walk into the rating arms of Modi. It was no problem mopping them up. Nice eco frags to pad those stats that much more. 5-5, all tied up. Money is going to be in good supply on the side of Misfits for them to buy down into this round. The one thing is right now it's the 2 French carries that we saw emerge on Mirage in the form of Amanek and Dibidovek, who have fallen silent, and it's Shazam who's really stepping up to the plate, really carrying his own weight. Been doing some phenomenal stuff on the AWP. We just need to see the 2 Frenchmen awaken and start to post a bit more of an impressive score, because it's a damn shame. Into this round, though, already attention over towards Ivy by the looks of things. It looks like it might just be an A split coming in through A main and Pop Dog as they head on down. But Dibidovek, there we go, picks up 1, 6 there to reinforce. He does lose his American teammate, but then he's there instantly to refrag. Amanek there as well, doing the damage downrange. Valdi going to be tagged down low, but does win out the duel. Bomb's been dropped in Pop Dog. They've rotated Sean Garris around to try and reinforce, and now Yugi and Valdi have to go ahead and retrieve that bomb.
1 minute and 10 remaining. Bomb still dropped in a peculiar position. So Valdi and Yugi are going to split up. The #1 thing you don't do in a horror movie. So split up and see if they can find duels on their own. Valdi looking to go into the back lines of the enemy, while Yugi's going for the bit more straightforward approach. Just waiting it out. The CCs, though, are pushing away from the bomb. Dibidovek is pushing very aggressively down here, just walking down. See if he can find something. Valdi's checking out the site. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, I think right now they're they're trying to see if Misfits give them anything to work off, and I was going to say they might just do that, but no, it's only Yugi to find anything. Does get one at least, but then the trades are there. Quick and instant by Sean and Shazam to secure Misfits the lead once again. 6-5. Double AWP set up in play over on the CT side, which currently hasn't really accomplished too much, I would say. But hopefully we can see that come to an end soon and them change it up. See that double AWP set up look a little bit more versatile. See Amanek hitting those shots like we saw him hitting on Mirage. And Heroic, well, they've got the AWP on Yugi yet again. He's got the spawn for B. You can see him charging on down, waiting to see if anyone goes aggressive. They do it. Sean Garris with a UMP running in like a madman. Drive-by up towards B. The nade not going to find any damage. And now he just falls on back and towards that B bomb site. They've already rotated Amanek around with the AWP. Posted on up to try and reinforce.
So yeah, Amanek, long-range AWP. And his teammate Sean Garris at upper. Just rotating now towards the B bomb site because Muddy and the rest of the guys are lining up for a B push here. Gonna focus on that lower push. And Amanek misses the shot, but this opens up for Sean Garris. Picks up one. Double frag though coming in from the Heroic side, and Yugi doubles up with the AWP. 4v2 now. The CT's in a very, very tough spot.
Yeah, Shazam and DreamHack, both players on the AWP looking to try and make some magic happen. Now, 2 AWPs in the retake, less than ideal to say the least. They're just going to be locked out the site. Now, Shazam was going to pick up the first, turning it into a 2-on-3. The Molotov does burn out Yugi as well, so now he's going to open himself up to the AWPs, but the bomb time has been ticking down. They have got the kit on DreamHack, but it still doesn't leave them with enough time, so they're just going to fall on back, save the 2 AWPs up into the next round. And Heroic, they are going to pick up a 6th. And as you said, it was kind of almost a magic number that Heroic needed to be approaching, and they've already got it. Only 12 rounds in, so there are still 3 left to play around with. 6-6 right now. Let's see. With the economy on Misfits, they can't actually afford to buy into the next round, so could be Heroic picking up a 7th here as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Going to be relying on these AWPs quite a lot.
Yes, and usually on train, that's what you do. You rely on your AWPs to get those picks and hold those angles. Yugi getting the picks on the T side, absolutely perfect this round. I have to say, like we've been saying a lot of good stuff about Shazam, and once again, I say it again, like he's, despite his team having trouble, Shazam is constantly finding picks with the AWP, and that's very important here on train because those AWP players rule the map. And if your AWP player is just on point, then it's going to be hard to lose the game in general, but if your AWP player is the only player on point right now, of course it gets hard. Heroic on the other side, Yugi still with the AWP. Snappy's down on 17 HP. And Force Buy coming in for Misfits. Amanek on a Deagle, 2 players on UMPs, and then the 2 AWPs they saved from the last round.
Now this time Heroic, they've taken things a lot more slowly. Yugi's out of one Ivy, just watching it with the Amanek rotating on round. Hopefully he doesn't take this peak. If he does, gonna give up controller there because Yugi gonna hit that shot 9 times out of 10 if anyone does just present themselves. Modi throwing in the smokes and flashes over towards B could cause the rotate to come on out very preemptively. We've seen Heroic hit B hard time and time again, and it's worked out for them. This time, though, they've got Sean Garris to watch the angle. He's looking to try and find the frag, and Modi will go down, so the man advantage secured early on as Valdi now rounding the corner down in Ivy. A lot of pressure on Amanek to try and hold this back. If he goes down, they get full rain over CT and can easily flank in towards that B bomb site or A from this position. Shazam dispatching of Nico. And now the push coming in from Ivy. They haven't accounted for Amanek in the backline. He gets one with the Deeg, trying to take a second, and he claims a second life as well. The Deeg thirsty for blood as it all falls on a Snappy. 1v4, AK in hand, and only 15 seconds left. He's just going to have to fade away, look to save, and Misfits will find their 7th round.
Yeah, definitely. Good round from them, and Amanek's Deagle once again coming in clutch. 2 Deagle kills from him. We saw him on Mirage as well with that short Deagle play where he was not supposed to get anything out of it. He got 2 kills as well, so he's on point with the Deagle right now, Amanek, and that's what we need from him because he needs to step it up as well. He's one of these players that are on the bottom of the scoreboard. If he steps up and starts playing to the level of a Sick or a Shazam, then Misfits are going to have a chance coming into the second half. Right now, of course, only leading 7-6, but this money situation is forcing Heroic.
Triple AWP.
Triple AWP, yeah, that's weird, but it's train. It's probably the only map where a triple AWP setup is going to be viable. On the other side of things, Heroic are choosing their own AWPs. Of course, the Deagles, the hand cannons, because they are on a situation where the money is not looking stellar at all.
Sean Garris watching Ivy just on scopes there as it looked like Yugi was about to walk out into his crosshair unknowingly. Instead, going to be playing the angle. Well, Valdi going to be boosted on up, looking over the top of that smoke. Doesn't spot anything out. It's Sick to find the first. Snappy goes down over in A main. Modi could have been in a spot to try and refrag that from Pop Dog, but instead opts to leave his position unknown. Doesn't peek on out just yet. 4 players for Misfits over in towards this A bomb site, so Heroic walking into the more stacked of the two. That Molotov going to force them out of Ivy. And it wouldn't surprise me maybe if we see them opt to rotate off potentially in towards that B bomb site. Only Shazam's there. Whilst he does have the orb, so he can pick up that initial frag and get the information. You know, they do still have a fairly good shot at making their way in. Sean has been forced back, at least in the meantime. This could net them control of CT if the frag can be picked up, but Sean Garrett is not going to give Valdi the satisfaction. Shuts him down before he can get a word in, and then it's Davidovec up close to find one out onto Yugi. Only Modi and Nico remain. Make that just Modi, as Davidovec is going to get 2, and he takes 3. The hat trick for the Frenchman. It doesn't want to let any opportunity of a bomb plant occur in that round. It picks up all 3 necessary frags and secures Misfits the 8. Yeah,
really important that he steps up as well. Misfits right now 8-6. They can make it 9-6, and that will still be decent comparing to how well that Heroic actually has played in this first half here. So 9-6 is probably the result they're gonna hope for here. Heroic are forcing up, doing scouts and tech 9s on Snappy and Yugi. The rest of the team on AK, but not full utility, but they still have smokes. They can do an execute if they want to. The question is it gonna be enough to counter Misfits and their double op setup, AK even on Davidovec. So
2 players over towards Pop Dog. 3 just waiting to line up these smokes and flashes out towards the A bomb site. And now they're going to rain on through. All the smokes is going to go down and block off vision. And now the push comes in. A lot of pressure on Davidovec to hold this back. Does get 1, does the damage on a Snappy as well. 6 on the site to try and deny the bomb plant, and he does so in through the smoke. Completely denies any opportunity for that bomb to go down. A 4-on-3. They've got to cross. The smokes now starting to fade, as is their opportunity to make their way in. Valdi looking to try and crack one open as he does the skull of Sick, but it's Amadek on the flank, sneaky beaky like in from behind to pick up 2, and then Shazam finishes the round off in a big way. Misfits find a 9, 9-6, and they don't allow Heroic to find anything else on that T side.
And it seems like the French crowd is coming out slowly. Of course, we have 2 Frenchmen in this game, and in the next game we have 2 French teams. And it might also be because they've all been voting today. For all of you guys not actually living in France or following the European political situation, there's an election going on in France right now. So that's probably why all those guys, they're out fulfilling their right as a part of the French country, voting for whatever candidate. It's not going to be political, but yeah, interesting days in France for sure. Another interesting thing, this matchup right now, 9-6 for Misfits, the underdog in map number 3. Can Heroic stop them in their tracks, or will it be the underdogs taking it one step further in this tournament and sending the Danes home? It's not far back when Heroic were playing really well in the IAM Katowice tournament, sending home VP, really impressing a lot of people. And now they are a bunch of rounds away from being sent home here in DreamHack Open Tour.
And well, into the second pistol we go. We can see that Misfits, interestingly enough, only have 2 players with armor. We're going to be seeing Shazam on the Deeg. A little bit of utility spread sparsely across Amanek and Sean Garrez. It's very interesting.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, they've got the raid boss up on Sick, the Deeg on Shazam. Does mean Aim Punch going to play into this in quite a big way. And it looked like originally they were going to try to make something happen out towards that B bomb site. Now watching any sort of aggression in through Pop, lining up some of these smokes in towards A. They're going to go down and block off Ivy and CT. Not going to be too effective though, as both the players just pushing on through. Yugi and Snappy clicking on heads left and right, and this push has just been torn limb from limb. It's all on Shazam, Deeg in hand, out in the open. Yugi showing no remorse, completes the hat trick. 3 frags for him. And that's going to be Heroic to pick up the pistol.
And that was the perfect CT setup, to be honest, because they played 3 guys on that A-bomb side. 1 guy that was Snappy in the connector, ready to rotate as soon as anyone saw anything outside. And then only 1 guy on the B-bomb side. And the gamble paid off. They're going to get the round win here. And, well, this is the side where Heroic are going to show their real strength. The CT side on Train is where they get their rounds. The T side, not so impressive. Let's see here. Sean Garris buying up the Deagle. So has Davidovec and Amanek. Also Deagles in hand. Heroic though. On 3 UMP 45s and 2 M4s. Snappy and Yugi going for it. Usually you wanna they wanna put it on Valde, but not this time around. Spray down goes in and double frag coming in. Valde and Modi shutting down that Ivy push. And now Misfits find themselves in the 3v2.
Yeah, sick over towards Pompton. Gonna be spotted out by Yugi and just immediately removed. That's gonna be Amanek and Sean Garris left to try and clutch this down. Now Sean's got the bomb down, and Ivy does find Modi as he, with a hop, skip, and a jump. Now Sean Garris has himself the ump, taking the head clean off of Modi. It's all gonna be on Sean. Does have the bomb, got a player coming in on the flank, trying to make this Deeg do that much more damage downrange. Gonna swap out of the UMP, and he actually finds Valdi as well. So Sean making this costly to Heroic. Only 28 HP, and you can see, look at this crab-walking player, Yugi, sneaking on in the back line. And he's gonna lose his face. Sean, what's going on, buddy? Now he's got himself 3. He's looking to try and do that much more. He's made this so expensive, at least for Heroic already. And he might be able to get this bomb down. You can see both remaining players for Heroic playing this very passively. Snappy, watching from Ivy, waiting to see if he can spot him crossing out on that A-bomb site. Nico's pushed on up, actually taking the more aggressive angle over towards B. Sean about to walk out into the crosshair of Snappy, mustn't get caught out in the open, and as he goes to cross, does spot him out, but he doesn't connect the shot. Snappy picks that up, but a nice attempt nonetheless from Sean.
For sure, and the way they played that 2v1 is that, okay, the main goal is not to let him plant. Usually, if you play a 2v1, you want to play together and retake together and do all that stuff. But in this situation, the way they know they can't afford to let Misfits get a plant, they actually played 1 by 1 and trust in themselves and trust in their angles. And it pays off for them in the end. But what a costly round, and what great play coming out of Sean Garris. Usually not one of the highlight fraggers of the team, but with this Deagle that time around, really turns it. Misfits, still on 9 though, still leading. But right now on almost a full eco compared to Heroic's 4 rifles.
Yeah, this is why Heroic should be able to find that equalizer, no problem. We can see for Misfits, they basically got everyone over towards this B bomb. So like, curious to see if they do just decide to rush on in. B's fairly good for being a site that you can usually get the bomb down on. Usually that's what we kind of see teams do when they're in this scenario, especially seeing as they're not too restricted. It's not like it's Glocks across the board. They've got the flash on Sean Garris. They've got some P250s. They've got the Deagle on Amanek as well. So they have still got a bit of firepower behind them. Heading in towards B, there are 2 players here to try and hold off this approach. And actually, they're rotating Snappy around very, very preemptively. Nico over to light up 1. Sean Garris falls as a Shazam, and Amanek 6 somebody could do something in return at least. But now it's all on Davidovec all the way out towards A. And oh, he's sneaking. He spots that player down towards Ivy in the form of Modi. He knows he's there, but Modi actually might be able to catch him off guard as he now looks towards him, and Davidovec trying to play things smart. Ends up paying for that with his life. 9-9. It's a shame he didn't have the Deagle. Had to get close because he had the Glock. Just wanted to try and burst him down, but just was not meant to be. Now the buy's going to come in. Shazam has himself the AWP to play around with. And this is where they have to start to get some rounds on the board.
Oh yeah, definitely. Heroic, on the other hand, are on their stronger side. This is where they usually excel on train. They have Yugi on that defensive AWP, and he can go for peaks like this. He can just hold the angles or go for aggressive peaks at other places. Yugi on train is just a monster to be dealt with, and they have to counter him in some form. If they're going to do it by smokes or by Molotovs, they have to constantly keep it in mind that Yugi is a nuisance to be dealt with here on train. And to be honest, despite Shazam playing really well on the AWP, in the overtime and Mirage, not really that much in Nuke, and so far here on Train, he's not going to win a one-on-one battle against Yugi here on Train. That's just fact. So it's going to be very hard for them to figure out how else to counter the AWP of Yugi, because he is a big deal here on Train for Heroic.
Yeah, right now Misfits looking to be a little bit disjointed. They've spread out, trying to hold map control early on. Shazam waiting to see if anyone's pushed up in through MA. They didn't go there early on, so he's got to clear all this out, and clearing that one angle on that corner with the AWP, especially when you're on your own, and when you look at where Yugi is, it could be the difference between life or death for Shazam in this scenario. Yugi now starting to doubt himself a little bit, turns his attention away, and is no longer in the best position to deal with this, as he won't be able to spot Shazam instantly on the peak, which should allow him to check that one close angle in the cubby. Amanek trying to steal a bit of a fake in towards that B bomb site, throws out a little bit of utility, and Yugi actually going to miss that first shot out into Shazam. Now he's been allowed to cross. Yugi kind of pivotal as they try pushing in towards this A bomb site. He goes down, does get a word in edgeways. It's Sick and Sean Garris to open up A as they cut the site in half. 3 frags between them, 2 for Sick. Bomb goes down. It's all on Snappy and Nico to come in for the retake. And Snappy moving in through CT spawn. Nico on his heels. It looks like at this point they're just going to opt to save. It's a 2v5. And while Sick and DreamHack are both tagged down very low, they've had so much time to get into afterplant positions.
Oh, yeah.
And by saving up these 2 rifles, they can easily afford to buy up into the next round.
Yeah, and also the fact that Yugi is on $0, so
Yeah.
and Valde is on 1,300. It's going to be very hard for them to buy up again. So those 2 weapons will be dropped, or they will figure something out, and they will have a full buy or full buy coming in the next round for Heroic. But Misfits on the T side getting that round, and very important for them to show that their executes actually work out. They cancel out Yugi pretty much due to that missed shot. He keeps all his attention towards that main, and then the AK from Sick comes in from Pop Dog, takes the first frag onto the side, goes in, gets Yugi as well, and that's really what you need. Look at that, Sick, pixel perfect, goes for the first one, gets the second, and that's the round pretty much.
The buy going to be coming in from Heroic. They've still got the AWP up on Yugi to play around with. Plenty of utility across the board. However, the reset is looming over their heads. The economy has run dry. This round is pivotal to them, as it's essentially a 2-for-1 for Misfits if they pick it up.
See here, Famas on money. The money is not 100% for Heroic, but still, Famas or UMP, doesn't matter what you choose, still a decent weapon if you play it correctly positionally. And as you said, okay utility on the CT players. The T side, on the other hand, doing the perfect execute.
And I guess they're waiting to see as well if Heroic do opt to go aggressive on account of they know the economy isn't going to be looking too great into this round. I don't think they would expect the buy to be quite as good as it is, having the AWP on Yugi, but now the smokes and flashes right in. The wall of smokes cut the site in half. That also smoke off in towards Pop to render Valde useless, but he still finds the one onto Amanek, who's trying to come in, being that third prong to the approach, and they're just getting slaughtered out towards A. Sick, the only player left within earshot of the bomb, and now the only player left alive. Got a lot on his plate. 4 players left alive. 3 here with the 4th now just rotating around over in Connector is going to be Nico. Modi's snuck up past him.
Yeah, this round is going to go out. There's only 4 seconds left. And if he dies after the time runs out, that's absolutely terrible. I'm not actually sure if that was on the time or just after, but still nonetheless, 3 players surviving on that Heroic side. The 10 to 10 is going to be the scoreline. He died, okay. So that's going to be terrible for him. He's not going to get that extra money. And the money situation in general on the Misfits side is going to be, so they can do the buy here, but it's going to be with a Galil and a Scout and missing utility. So money definitely an issue right now for Misfits on this T side. On the other side, CT's double up, set up. Oh, wow! Look at that. It's just Sam coming in. Scout kill straight to the face of Snappy. Of course, that secondary up after Yugi. And now Modi also taken out. This is actually working out for them.
Yeah, very, very crisp headshot there to kickstart this round. It's only gotten better since then. Yugi and Valde on this A bomb site. Nico's rotated around as well, very preemptively. And Yugi looking to try and make things difficult. Does get one, but it's DreamHack on the flank as him and Sean Garris lock down CT. They find the bomb though. Yugi's pushed on up, knows exactly where it is. Nico's in connector. They don't have a good crossfire set up here. Nico trying to push out into the site, has a lot of angles left to clear. He knows there's players in CT. Doesn't know the whereabouts of Amanek. There's still at least one unknown for them here, but they know they've got full control of the bomb. He's got Yugi to watch the flank. Nico watching the push coming in through CT. And he's about to have Amanek walking out into his crosshairs. Amanek takes the peek, spots him out. He doesn't hit that first shot, and at that point, it's a nice, easy frag for Amanek to pick up. All eyes on Yugi. Waiting over towards main. Bomb by his feet. They've got to pick things up. 40 seconds left. Time could be their ultimate enemy here. As Yugi just waiting. Flashes at rain on through. No sense expending any utility, but he picks up the first. Looks to try and fade away, but Amanek says no. Gets himself the return, and now Misfits on 11. Take that lead. And the reset that was looming for Heroic now going to be felt fully by the CT side.
I'm getting a bit scared now because Misfits are making a lot of correct choices and they're playing this T side quite impressively in my opinion. And Heroics should be on the best opportunity on this CT side. So far they haven't really been capitalizing on it too much. This is going to be a full eco for them. If they lose the next buy round, Misfits might have a chance of winning this, and that's a huge upset. A huge upset, so huge that only Harry predicted it.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously a CS god.
And while spamming on through, USP's not really doing too much damage in through the plywood there. They're just taking things slow, which is the right call to make. They know that Heroic have no money left, right? They don't want to be open to any sort of rush. We've seen this USP, the USPs on Heroic win an embarrassing amount versus Full Eyes on Misfits, and they're not going to let that same mistake fly twice. Well, they did 3 times. But Snappy is alone and over towards B. As Misfits look to make their way over towards there, it's very open as to where they could go. Shazam's able to open up with a frag out on a Modi at this A bomb site. Does spot out the second as well. But it's actually Valdi to take his head off. This could be a repeat of a nightmare that I finally thought would come to an end. But oh no, the USPs, they're doing it again. They do manage to find themselves the man advantage. It's going to be quickly turned back into a 3-on-3 by Amanek over towards that B bomb site. Bomb is going to go down, and they're planting it for the aggro. You can see Amanek's pushed on up all the way in a CT spawn, looking to catch these players off guard. Bomb's been planted for him and Sick. That's going to throw these guys off in the retake, but they've got themselves an AWP and an AK. They're just going to look to try and save these. Nico, trying to make things costly, does take 1 life with him, and then it goes down. The AWP going to be saved on Valdi, the AK on Yugi. They'll be swapped around, I imagine, when we get back into the next round, but Misfits find a 12th.
Yeah, very costly though, but they found the 12th round. That's very important for them, getting that lead, getting that 2-round lead as well. Heroic on the back foot, in my opinion, right now. They need to come back into this game right now. Yugi's doing fine. Muddy's sitting on 9-14. And that's something that I talked about with Pimp as well. Like Muddy, he's the kind of player, emotional. If things don't go his way, it's going to be very hard for him to focus himself and get back into the game. And when things are going great, he's an insane player. But that's something he's working with right now. And it's not looking too good, 9-14. He is, though, he's not one of the main fraggers. He's still playing that support-esque role. So it's not because he needs to frag. He needs to be in the top of the scoreboard, but still, 9-14. It's not the best score in the world in a game that is so important.
Yeah, it is map 3 of the first best of 3 to date. And currently, Misfits find themselves 2 rounds ahead. We're already seeing, as you said, the AWP up on Yugi. He's over towards Ivy. Smoked on back for the time being is they just opted to not take the peaks up against Misfits. Instead, just opted to use that utility. Locked them out of Ivy for the time being. Misfits have responded by moving players back over towards CT spawn. Now looking like they might wrap over towards B. Sean Garris with the bomb firmly on his back. Rejoining Amanek and Sick over at that B bomb site. Nico and Yugi are here. Snappy's down in Pop Dog. He can very quickly come up for the rotate if need be. Catch these players off guard potentially. They leave Debitavec. He's been playing almost a bit of a lurk role in this one. Down over towards Ivy to try and come in, catch these players off guard on the rotate. Now this could go very badly or very well. I mean, occasionally he does seem to leave it a little bit late. Hopefully that lapse in communication isn't there and he can come in and actually catch the players as they're rotating and still be useful to the guys within the site. There's only 35 seconds left. They have to think about pushing in sooner rather than later. And as they line up these smokes and flashes ready to go through, I imagine we're going to see exactly that. Smoke down on A to try and keep these players from rotating early. Now the push comes in. They're going to go in completely dry. Only a singular flash to open things up. The utility rains on through it. Nico first to go down. Yugi to try and refrag best he can. Does get one, putting it back into a 4-on-4. But now he's alone and isolated in the site, trying to prevent the plant from going down. It's Snappy who's going to be the linchpin coming on through with the UMP. Gets the first. You got to see Sick try and get this refrag, but he can't. He finds himself pinned between a rock and a hard place, and they're just storming on in from all angles. Sick's got to go huge. The defuse is coming on in, and it's not looking good. Bomb just going to be stuck by Snappy. Sick couldn't clutch it out 1v4. He gets 2 necessary frags, but that is going to be it. Heroic instantly bite back and find an 11th, sorry.
Oh, what a third map, man. This is actually insane that Misfits are making it this close. A lot of people thought that they wouldn't have what it took to come into this game and take on Heroic. Definitely looked good on Mirage, took it to overtime, got absolutely demolished on Nuke, and now we're on Train and it's as close as ever. 12-11, forced buy for Misfits. Only a couple of $100 on them if they lose this one, so not a good buy coming in after this if they lose. So if Heroic gets on 12-11, they might also go on 13. Momentum and economy playing a big role in the latter stages of this map here, and a map that will cement one of these teams and will send them home. from Tool without a single match win.
Yeah, this round more important than ever, perhaps, because both teams' economy is so low that whoever picks it up effectively gets themselves a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
If Misfits find themselves in that situation, they arrive at 14-11 potentially, providing they don't lose to the Pistols. Heroic, if they do it, then they actually take that lead out from underneath Misfits and turn the whole situation on its head. So once again, it's this slow, methodical start from Misfits. Just clearing out all these angles, not wanting to fall prey to any sort of rushes. Now, Heroic haven't been taking too much map control early on. They've been playing it very passively as well. And now as they stack up outside of A, it looks like it's just going to be the A play. Amanek over towards Pop Dog to try split on through. They don't have anyone in Ivy, really. The brunt of their force is about to exit out through A main. And well, Yugi's in a great spot to find the openers as they just present multiple targets to him. It's going to be a target-rich environment, but he can't connect anything. Now goes in for the flick, but Sean Garris takes his head clean off. What just happened to Yugi? This play's gone insane as they make their way into the site, taking everyone out. And the save's going to come in from Heroic. They have two rifles left. Moddy's tagged out incredibly low. We might even see some of these players with the techs go hunting. Because quite frankly, why the hell not? I mean, Moddy's one tag away from death. Any damage they can do at this point to the economy of Heroic is worth its weight in gold because they can't afford into the next round.
Sick with the Tech 9, man. It's insane. And we do see the timeout coming in from Heroic, and this is perfect time to do that. They know they're going to have some kind of a buy around this with these two weapons saved. But then again, Misfits are going to be on 13, and they're going to have, like, slowly start to generate some money because they have 5 people surviving of this. 13 and money and momentum. This is a perfect time to take a timeout. But Heroic, they're on the ropes right now. They're the ones being, like, in the hard situation between a rock and a hard place. Misfits are the ones with the lead, and the crowd are loving it. Team with the 2 French players, of course. There's a reason why.
Yeah, and, you know, I think at this point, right, it's kind of gotten to the stage now where if you're Heroic, do you force behind this, or do you just have these 2 players play the Catalyst rifle role? I think that's...
Oh yeah, we see they can be good with pistols, so I can imagine
I imagine just keeping
doing
it on the 2
deagles.
rifles, right?
Let's see here, actually. The money right now on the other players... Yeah, okay, Yugi's on 1,400. That's actually... Oh, wow. So this is probably going to be a full save from all the other players, apart from Nico and Moddy. Maybe Moddy will even... Nah, he shouldn't throw his rifle over. He has the head armor. But then again, this is going to be a very, very tough round to win for Heroic. They're going to need that pistol magic to come back. We saw it on Mirage. They won 2 full ecos against full Bison Misfits. They need to do almost the same now. They're back turned against the wall. 13-11 for Misfits. About to do the upset.
Yeah, you know, the hard choice here, right, for the side of Heroic is that even if they full save this round, buying into the next round isn't going to be too great. What they get out of it in terms of their utility, they're going to either have to sacrifice some firepower in favor of getting some utility, you know, trade out some of the M4s for either a FAMAS or the UMP. We've seen them pick up both. Or we're going to see them have to, you know, get all the M4s together, get what they can, and go into it a little bit bare in terms of their utility. And both of those are equally as scary. I mean, we've seen them do some serious work with the UMP and with the FAMAS. But still, I mean, you know, we can't count them out this next round. They have still got 2 rifles in play, but it's a round that, in theory, Misfits should pick up. It's just the only reason why I am still somewhat skeptical is because we've seen them look so strong on these pistols.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, though, would you not say that Heroic aren't really looking as strong as they had done earlier on Mirage? They look to be a little bit, perhaps a little bit run down, and on Nuke even. Misfits, on the other hand, they're firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, I'm not impressed at all from Heroic. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest. Because if they want to be a top 10 team, a top 15 team in the world, this is a game that they should take on the routine. This is not a game that should have been close. This signals a lot of problems in the Heroic camp if they can't take this one. Misfits, of course, playing great, not to take anything away from them. They played a great game, played out of their minds, and look to be a team that can do a lot of damage in NA and possibly in the international scene in the future. But here we go, back into the game. Pistols for Heroic. Misfits on the brink of 14.
Yeah, they're charging on through towards the A bomb site. Snappy gets caught looking completely the wrong way. Yugi into the smoke, trying to connect something, anything, but he can't make it work. Now Sick up close, does just do the deed of taking his head off. And then the bomb is going to go down. The 2 M4s locked out the site in its entirety as Moddy and Valdi both over towards B, looking to try and save into the next round, which would be fantastic. One of the issues we said is that they would have to sacrifice some firepower. This way, saving up the 2 rifles means they can afford to buy comfortably into that next round.
Oh, yeah.
But it does still, once again, leave them in a poor place in terms of their economy. They would have to pick it up.
They need to win this round.
Yeah, Misfits are going to be 14-11.
Yeah.
When they buy down, the money isn't going to look great on the side of Heroic.
Nope.
And that means if they lose it, then essentially Misfits are going to be arriving at that 15th with a forced buying Heroic on the ropes.
Yeah, and the loss bonus isn't great either because this is only the second round in a row that Heroic have lost. So there's no real big money bonus either coming into this round as well. So 14-11 for Misfits. Heroic finding themselves with their backs against the wall. They have to force up. They have to get this round now. If they don't, that's going to be bye-bye for the Danes.
Yeah, no AWP for Yugi. He's going to be on the M4. Now, he's shown himself to be a competent rifler, but this is one. Train is a map where, you know, if one team has the AWP and the other doesn't, especially when you have someone like Shazam who's just going off right now, it can be very bad. The wall of smoke is going to go down out towards A yet again, and it should utter confusion in this site. Valdi in the smoke trying to play things safe, but he's completely locked out. Devonovec somehow making things work, does manage to get one, but they're going to be lit up by Valdi, who's in the backline. Modi doing some serious work as well, but in the blink of an eye, it's a 2v1. Nico, all that remains, he drops the bomb. He's only got 19 HP, playing it around the bomb train. Sick knows exactly where he is. He takes the peek, but Nico takes his head off in retort. And that is going to be Heroic living to fight another day. 14-12. They win the round when they needed to the most, and right by the skin of their teeth. With
a clutch from Nico, one of these young players that Heroic have, like him, Valde, and Yugi, all three young. All three need this experience, and Nico, under pressure, so clutch. 1v2, he has to clutch in order to stay in this game almost, and he does it. He gets that one done. There's another buy, of course, coming in from Misfits. They have plenty of money. On the Heroic side of things, there is an UMP on Snappy, lacking a bit of utility on the other CT players because it was down to a 1v2 in the end, so only one weapon saved. So still, Misfits, they can take this one and bring themselves on 15, but this is a more fair fight now.
Yeah, I mean, if Heroic picked this one up, then we could see them find some sort of equalizer if no one on Misfits saved. The money isn't looking ideal. They should be able to scrape something together into the next, but it's just that decision of, do they want to commit to the buy?
Are they going to have 2 UMPs if they want to do a buy next round?
So,
or pistols just.
Once again, Misfits, they're going to be taking things slowly early on. Not going to let the pressure get to them here. We saw the change of pace come out in the last couple of rounds, and it was working out for them, charging in towards that A-bomb site. Now they've gone back to their slower, more methodical routes, not going to be charging into the waiting arms of Heroic. And as they make their way over towards B here, Snappy's only got that UMP. Nico's here with the AK, but they've got very limited utility across the board remaining on Heroic. Meanwhile, Misfits, when you look at it, it is plentiful. And now it's going to be expended as they head out over towards B, throwing them in, but I think it could be the fake as Shazam and Shaw now falling on back, down and through pop. Valdi's rotated around. There's 3 players on B. This has worked out perfectly. Yugi, the only one on the site, got to buy plenty of time for the rotate to come on through, and so far he's doing a fantastic job. Shazam to pick up the first as Valdi goes down on the rotate, gets himself a second as well. He's looking to go huge, stick up close, finds Yugi, and now it's all on Snappy and Nico. 2v5. It was looking like it could have been good for them. That pop flash just cements it. The bomb goes down. They get forced on back. And they're just going to have to be relegated into CT spawn to save up the UMP and the AK into what could well be one of the last rounds of them at this event.
No money left for Heroic after this. Like, 2 of the players on 0, 2 of them on 150. The richest guy after this is Valde, who's 850. That means that they can force around this. They can get pistols and armor and maybe some utility, but they can get nothing more. And they still need 3 rounds after this to bring it to OT. Oh wow. Heroic on the brink of destruction here at DreamHack Tour. And the French fans are coming in now in force to celebrate. The 2 countrymen, Amadek and Devodek, playing on the Misfits side. 1 round away from victory.
Yeah, so incredibly close. And look at the buy coming in from Heroic. It's not looking great. We've seen them pull this off before, but once they get this, they've got to get 2 more after it. Misfits at the finish line. All they have to do now is cross it. And while Shazam, someone who's been firing on the cylinders, trying to kickstart this round, won't have to find any success just yet over towards A main. Once again, they're going to slow things down, fall back into their very, very slow play style early on. They have Devodek over towards Ivy. Sean Garra's here to trade things out. If things do get hairy, Valdi takes some aggression up towards A main, clears that out early on. Curious to see if Yugi's actually going to try going aggressive. It's him and Valdi looking a little bit curious. Shazam's watching the angle, and they haven't tried any aggression. And I don't think they realize how much they will get punished for it because it's something they've quite frankly, stuck away from up until now. Well, once again, you've got Amanek and Sick over towards that B-bomb. Start extending some pressure here early on as well. It's been a nice default coming in from Misfits, I think, you know, locking down all the key areas of the map, not allowing any aggression to come out, and also denying any sort of rotates to come through very early.
And that's what we were talking about, like when they played against Na'Vi. Even though they only got 5 rounds, the T side looked actually quite well structured. And we've seen this so far against Heroic, a slightly worse team than Na'Vi individually. They're doing very well right now. Misfits, can they do it? Sean Guest pushing in.
And he's been allowed to completely bypass in through the smoke. Modi didn't spot him. He's crossed in towards CT. DreamHack there as well. I think Modi has suspected this. Peeks on out. Finds that first frag. The pistol's already doing some serious work. Nico with the AK chiming in with one onto Amanek. Already they've put in a whole boatload of work. DreamHack's got to watch out because Modi's hot on his heels, but he just turns around and blows his face clean off. Baldi does find one and in over towards that A site, but Sick quick to try and equalize things out in at B. The Spanish of Nico. Bomb is going to go down. It's a 2v3 in the retake. They're planting it for the aggro push. Sick's going to take the more aggressive angle as he pushes on up. Might be able to catch Yuki off guard, and he does so, turning it back into a 2-on-2. He's still got a little work left to do. They walk out on his crosshair, but he goes down. It's all on Shazam. The AWPer for Misfits, he misses that shot, and that could have been crucial at turning this into a 1-on-1. Takes the repeat, gets the first, and the no-scope comes in from Shazam, and he's gonna win it out. Misfits, they take it 2-1, 16-12 on Train, and what a way to close this out.
Shazam to clutch it, 1v2 with the AWP, misses the first shot, goes for the second shot, gets that as well, and for the quick score, I don't know, quick score or no scope, it doesn't even matter. That was absolutely insane, absolutely no scopes. Valde out of this dimension and sends them home.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I guess all it took to save the NAC and was a little bit of French in there for good measure. A phenomenal game from Misfits. Can't even put that into words how both proud, excited I am to see them continue to progress throughout this.
Definitely.
We couldn't have asked for a better way to start the day.
This is a perfect start for today. And also perfect start for French Day, because next up we have, of course, Envious versus G2. This one had 2 Frenchmen coming out on top, but I have to say, I'm disappointed in Heroic. Heroic are disappointed in themselves here. But nothing to take away from Misfits, because they did a phenomenal job here. Yeah,
they're going to be feeling on top of the world. I mean, what were your thoughts there on that last map? What went well? What went bad? Because it's all right us sitting here saying how amazing it was, and it was, by the way. I mean, if you are just joining us, you have to go back and check out the VOD of this game if you only watch one, because it was a spectacle. But what was kind of your highlights of this whole thing, the whole best of 3?
I think the CT side, Heroic CT side was not good enough, and then comparing the fact that the T side of Misfits was very well drilled and very structured. I think it was in that second half they lost the game, because the first half was okay. Like, Heroic's first half was okay. It was not good, it wasn't bad, but in the second half they really lost it. Shazam stepped up. We saw Sick once again. Every single time he had a Tech 9 in like a force buy, he got 1 or 2 kills and picked up a weapon as well. Like, all the things you need on that T side to happen, that happened for them, and that just made them able to go into this match and get that 16-12 result and move on to this tournament and send Heroic home.
Yeah, well, it's all right hearing your thoughts on it, but let's now go to the stage with James, where we can hear theirs.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm here live on the stage with Sean Gares. Man, what a great ending for you guys. The passion and this crowd love you guys because, of course, you have a couple of additions of the French persuasion now. Firstly, how are you guys feeling? Like that, the passion that came from you guys there was incredible to see.
Yeah, I think everyone on the team right now is just super happy. We played so well throughout boot camp the whole time, so when we fell flat against Na'Vi in that first half, we couldn't win any clutches. So many rounds where 1 or 2 guys lived. The opposite happened today versus Heroic. We won a lot of those rounds. We kept their money low, just like we did against Na'Vi, except we won the important rounds today, and it just felt good that what happened in practice finally happened in the match.
Yeah, if we rewind a little bit to, again, more support, but if we rewind a little bit to Mirage, there was a couple of points there where it looked a little bit shaky on eco rounds or anti-ecos. You lost a couple in a row, but then you were able to keep the composure throughout the overtime, and then an amazing clutch by Amanek with like 0.008 seconds on the defuse. How easy was it for you guys to keep that composure, you know, coming out of boot camp and whatnot?
Well, in boot camp, actually, Mirage was like one of our strongest maps. It really hurt us that we lost both pistols, and we got eco'd like 2 or 3 times, like he said. So a couple missed smokes, like smokes with gaps in it, gave away a couple rounds for us, and we kept our composure. God Dominic just won that 1-on-2 and kept us in it. So hats off to Francois.
Yeah, and especially in those overtimes as well, how important is it to have Peacemaker behind you and giving you that sort of support?
I can't give enough praise to Lewis. Like, he's suggesting stuff like the entire time, and constantly giving me new ideas, like between rounds and stuff like that. Yeah, he's definitely a huge importance to the team. He's like a sixth man.
And of course, you guys go on now to play Na'Vi. What are your initial thoughts? Obviously, I don't want to give away too much, as you know you're going to be playing them soon. But what are your initial thoughts on that matchup? What's your preparation like for that?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not scared of them. I'm gonna say that. Like, we played them a little bit in boot camp before the groups were released, and we played quite well. And I think if that first match, a couple rounds went our way in the clutches, it could have been a lot closer than the score shows. So I think our map pool is pretty good to play them in a best of 3, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations. You're one step closer to the final day. And yeah, congratulations to you and the guys. I'm going to hand it over to Parla and the guys on the desk to sum up the first match of the day.
Shazeb, no scope Khan with a rather ironic, heroic clutch there, taking out their Danish enemies. Moving forward, his team, the Misfits, they will play Na'Vi later in the day. But let's talk about what just happened. That was an extremely exciting best of 3. We had an overtime, we saw all 3 maps, and we all predicted it wrong. We thought Heroic were going to take it.
You want to take it off?
Yeah, I'm surprised. You know, even we saw the first map on Mirage, and it looked like what I expected from Misfits. There was a lot of misplays. Even the first pistol round, the first round of the entire game, they lost a 2-on-1 against I think it was Nico or Jugi, where they should have won that pistol. It was like I expected. Heroic taking the lead, and they were playing better in the beginning. At 11-11. It was kind of even out at that point, and then Misfits decided that we don't want to win Mirage, and they lost two
They just decided, like, yeah, we'll throw this one away. We don't need it.
That was so odd by Misfits. They lost 2 anti-ecos, like full anti-ecos, only a deagle in the play, I think, twice. So it never looked like Misfits were playing well, but somehow they managed to clinch it, and I think James mentioned it on the stage as well, like that 1-2 from Ammonic, like that round would have decided the entire game. It would have been a 2-0 for Heroic, hadn't he done that clutch. So it was very, very close, but they managed to win Mirage, and on Nuke, you can take from there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think there's literally too much you can talk about Nuke. It was the domination from Heroic.
It was the Valda show, right?
Yeah, pretty much, and getting as many rounds at the NT side, it's pretty much over with after half one. So when you're Misfits, you kind of have to switch your focus towards the third map, because they knew going into this best of 3, you're either going to be banning Overpass or Nuke. Pick your poison. They decided to go on Nuke, which I thought kind of weird. You really don't want to play Overpass if you're going to play Nuke against Heroic, who actually beat some really good teams. It was also Virtus Pro, who were really good on Nuke previously, obviously having a slump now, but at that time they were known as a very, very good Nuke team, still beating them handily. So I mean, I put my focus on Train. Still, I think overall, if you look at this best of 3, it was so scrappy. There's so many weird rounds, a lot of decision making that I wouldn't agree on. For example, losing those anti-ecos in the manner as they did. It was basically their players, they were just scattered around in the map. What I would rather do is like hit a bomb site together, utilize Molotov smokes, and go in together as a unit, make sure you don't get picked apart one by one as they did with Valda, for example, coming in with the Deagles and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think it all crumbled on the C side of Train for Heroic. I think they were still in it. They had all to play for. Losing against like a super scrappy buy towards the end of it, I think there was like 2 AKs, 2 Tech-9s, and a Deagle in play, and basically a delayed mid-push coming from Misfits. It was what nailed it in the end of them. And a couple of missed shots, basically, from the Danish side in that situation.
We have the stats on screen now. Sick with a standout performance, and Shazam as well. Oh, man, I still can't get over that clutch. That was amazing. He missed that first shot, scored 2 no-scopes, took the win. Really, really great form. On the Heroic side of things, I mean, they definitely didn't do badly in terms of spreading the frags between them, but Valda was the standout. I know he's going to be very disappointed with that, and with regards to that, we've had some big upsets here now at this tournament. Arguably, the biggest was that match between G2 and Tricked yesterday. That was huge. But now we've seen Misfits take out Heroic. That is pretty big. Do you not agree?
I agree, definitely. I even say that this is close to as big as an upset as the Tricked. It was only a best of 1 against G2. This is a best of 3, and I don't know what happened for Heroic this game, because as you said, Valda were playing well, Yugi were putting up numbers. Like the whole team were actually putting up numbers, but something went wrong, you know, because this was not Heroic playing well at all. This was like a battle between two teams playing poorly, as you said, and Misfits turned out to be the better teams of those two.
And they should have the map pool advantage. I don't really know, like, they were fine. Nuke, obviously, getting the pick that it was their overpressure Nuke. And even, like, them then banning in the end, taking out Cobble instead of Train, I felt was odd, because I feel like their Cobble still, even though they haven't been super great on it, they've still been better on it than they have on Train. So I felt like that was an interesting move from them.
That could be something to do with yesterday's game against Mouseport. You know, they lost 16-10 on Cobblestone, but we saw Mouse yesterday. They're playing well. You know, that's not necessarily a too bad result. So that might affected them a little bit too much. You know, I don't know. Yeah,
because you're the ones you're playing against a massive underdog in this best of three. You'll have the advantages. Don't think about what happened yesterday against a different team. That's not something you do.
No doubt the underdogs can rise to the occasion. We've seen it now twice here at this tournament. Something that I noticed, maybe you guys can shed some insight onto the point that I'm about to make, is it seemed Misfits, especially most apparent on Train, the mid-round calls seem to be quite on point. If they were faking somewhere, or even at the start of rounds, they were picking generally sites that had the less amount of players from the Danish side. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I think what I really like about their play is that they pace themselves correctly, as in they'll have a lot of variety in going. They can have the fast pushes and they'll do it in a very coordinated manner. They'll gain control of a bomb site really quickly, and usually the first guys going in manage to get the entry kills, and then they'll slow things down in a round that they need to. And then they had a lot of fakes. We saw a fake towards inner bomb side. Pim called it the Peacemaker call. Basically them just throwing a lot of grenades toward inner bomb side, going down ladder, going outer bomb side. And that working out great. So them just overall showing that they have obviously two great minds in Sean Garris and Peacemaker, and once those two collaborate, things can look pretty good. But then it's more than that when it comes to Counter-Strike. You know, it's about individuals managing to do the right decisions on their own as well within those situations for things to work out. So, you know, I think they have some pretty solid pieces, but they're going to be facing a different beast in Na'Vi in a best of three series up next. Yeah, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
So that's what I find very interesting about this combination of Peacemaker and Sean Garris, because Peacemaker, I know him from my time in Liquid. He wants to have a set plan for the round from the beginning. You know, he wants to make sure that he has a game plan. He wants to follow that like strictly. Whereas you can have that, but you need somebody to take over mid round. You know, when shit goes down. You know, because a lot of stuff will happen in the rounds, and you can't always control it from the beginning. And I think that's where Sean Garris comes into play, and is very valuable for the Misfits. So I like this combination of like having Peacemaker setting the game plan, and then having Sean Garris taking over when needed, you know, which is what we didn't have in Liquid, for example. When we had Peacemaker as a coach, he wanted to do that, but we didn't have anyone who could take over that responsibility.
It's like a lot. Some teams lack like a wingman, even if you have like a really decisive in-game leader, but still you're better off if you have a player within the lineup as well who can make calls, who can give you that kind of information that will help you make those mid-round calls. So having a coach that's super good at looking the big picture, and then having a in-game leader within the lineup that can make a good mid-round calls, that's a pretty good combination.
Yeah. No doubt. Thank you guys for your points. However, it is now time to wrap things up. That first best of three certainly delivered, and we have three more over the course of the day. Up next, you do not want to miss this. It is the French derby between G2 and Envious. Before we get to that, though, we will be going to a break, and I must shout out one of our wonderful sponsors, Strafe Esports app. If you'd like to keep up to date with news and anything else, follow your favorite players, you can do so there, and we have a video to show you exactly how to do that right about now.